Nice title. I like it.
Thanks. Again, this is another product of 2020 to 2024, where it was all EV, everything, all the things, electrify everything. And it's funny being not far removed from that, and we're already like, wow, man, remember when everyone was trying to electrify their entire lineup? Everyone except Toyota, who seems to have the last laugh now. Mm-hmm. Ford is canceling the F-150 Lightning, which is their all-electric 1500 pickup. From what I can tell from owners of this vehicle, both anecdotally, I know people who own a Lightning, and just from what I've read on the forums, people seem to like them. The problem is they just don't sell the numbers that would be required to justify the massive investments they've done into this platform. They are canceling the all-electric Lightning. Insiders are saying they're keeping the Lightning name, but they're pulling it from the shelves and reintroducing it as an e-Rev, which makes infinitely more sense.
It seems to be the theme of the podcast is what's the latest update in e-Rev technology.
Yep.
And did you notice what Ford said about the driving range?
700 miles, right?
Nope. 700 miles is the Dodge. Over 700 miles.
Oh. I mean, at a certain point...
Do you need any more?
It's not like, well, I'm going to buy this one because it's 900 instead of 700.
You're just not.
But it costs $10,000 more. Like, at a certain point, the range...
There's nowhere, at least in the U.S. market, there's nowhere you could drive 500 miles and not pass a gas station.
For anyone joining for the first time, like, what the difference is between an e-Rev and an all-electric.
Yes, it has taken me many tries to get this explanation down, but I've got it. There is a regular hybrid where both the gas engine and the electric motors can take turns driving the wheels in whatever efficient manner the manufacturer deemed most efficient, right? An e-Rev, it's called a series hybrid, meaning the gas engine and the electric powertrain are in series, one right after the other. The gas engine only charges the batteries. The electric motor only runs the wheels. So if you were to take a regular vehicle and turn it into an e-Rev, you would immediately go further on the same amount of gasoline because the engine can be designed for one single RPM and designed to run really efficiently all the time. And it doesn't have to go up and down you don't have to have a really big engine for the edge case where you're towing up a hill. The engine can stay the same size. Like you can run an F-150 off of like a 1 liter generator because all it's doing is charging batteries. And when you need to get more output, the electric motors can do that extremely efficiently. So if you were driving in a straight flat road with no curves and no turns and no hills, you would still go further on a gallon of fuel in an e-Rev than just putting it in a regular gas car. Then you add in the fact that you can do regenerative braking. That it adds about 20% to your range. The same amount of gasoline can make you go significantly further, and you have all the benefits of electric, and you have all the benefits of gas, meaning that you don't have range anxiety. As long as the gas engine is big enough to output more charge than the motors can use at any one time or consistently, then it's fine. You can just slowly charge the batteries all the time, faster than it can use it. And there's a bunch of other reasons why it's really great for batteries. It keeps the batteries in a healthy range. It doesn't deplete them entirely.
You don't need as big of a battery.
You don't need as big of a battery.
Which is the most expensive part.
And the heaviest part. So you can even build an e-Rev that weighs the same or potentially even less than a regular gas car.
Because it doesn't need as big of an engine.
Right. There's a lot of benefits to going with an e-Rev. And I have a bet with no one except myself that in the next 10 years, the majority of vehicles for sale will be e-Revs.
In the next 10 years, you said?
In the next 10 years, I think more than half of vehicles on sale will be e-Rev.
That seems aggressive.
Maybe 12 years. But I think 50% of new vehicle sales being e-Rev. Remember they had the reverse powering of your house with that Lightning, and that was a really great idea. That for a couple of days, especially where this is being sold largely in California where they have regular
Now
blackouts.
That's even better because you can fill it with gas.
Yeah. If it's filled with gas, it has the batteries and then it has a whole generator attached to it. So you can
just keep filling it with gas.
And you can run your whole house.
As long as you need to.
They have the same high output plugs they're planning to put in it, so you can run a welder out of the back of your truck.
I could see your estimate of majority becoming e-Revs in this industry. In trucks, SUVs. I could see that. I think once you get enough of them out there and people are like, wow, that is actually
significantly better.
Much better. I could see that happening. Regular commuter cars, I could see those remaining gas or
They're
or
already
hybrid.
so efficient that it. Well, think about this: if you said, "Hey, here's a Corolla for $24,000," there's a Corolla hybrid for 27, and there's a Corolla E-Rev for 28, and the hybrid, the regular hybrid, gets 50 miles to the gallon. The E-Rev gets 110 miles to the gallon. That seems pretty appealing for someone who's commuting.
They're doing away with this, which for Ford is a big deal because they've invested so much money into this electric platform. They haven't, as far as I know, said anything about their universal EV platform. They made a big hullabaloo about like a year ago. The same platform, that universal platform, they're going to build that new 30K electric truck on. As far as I know, they're still moving forward with that. But at least for this full-size truck, they're pulling it off the shelves, turning it into an E-Rev.
They've mentioned focusing their electric only on less expensive vehicles because
Smaller commuter
Yeah,
cars, which
yeah.
makes sense.
it does because if you have a little Fiat 500, that's not a road trip car, especially not for more than one or two people.
That's a work and back day to day.
That's a city car. So city cars don't need to do that. They can have 100 miles of range and be fine. The e-Golf famously had like 150. People that own those love them.
Yeah.